So, good morning, Mr. Byron. I'm sorry for late replies because it took me a lot of time to prepare material, to make the slides and record the video. So, now without further ado, I will start the lesson today. So, as I asked you in the previous lecture, you said that you really care about the design, and um, I did ask you that, and you replied that your Canva skill is 7 out of 10. So today, I will introduce you some, basic design instructions and how to make a beautiful poster by Canva. Because you know that no matter how you use any tools, Canva, Adobe Illustrator, or Photoshop, they are, they're just the tool for you, because the all you need to pay attention to is the how to the rules in designing. So today I'm going to introduce you some basic rules when you design, so that it can help you whenever you use any tool. You can have a deep understanding of those basic rules. So first of all, I want to ask that there are the three slides I take on the internet, and so I want to ask you that, in your opinion, which slides are beautiful? You can stop the video for 5 seconds and take a look at those slides. Okay, so I think that your answer will be the same as other people. That's the first slide and the second slide here are not beautiful. So I want you to stop the video for 5 seconds to think that why those two first slides are not beautiful. Okay, so after thinking, I have I have found some basic errors in the first two slides. So let's figure out. You can see here that the first slide and even the second slide, the color are not harmoniously arranged, because you can see here that the the creator, they use many colors here, the blue, the green, the red, the orange, because I want you to remember the first rule in designing is that no more than normally you should use no more than 4 colors per design. So here you can see that there are many colors per slide, and there are some combination of colors that are not appropriate for each other. For instance, the color red and green here, it looks not appropriate together. So in the next slide, I will introduce you how to combine the color together. So next is the elements. You can see here that there are too many elements per slide. Elements can be text, can be the shapes. So you can see here that there are many shapes, like the computer, the lights here, and the text here. So they're arranged too much in a slide, and when we look at a design like this, we cannot see which are the main elements and which are the side elements in this slide. So all you need to do is make the audience, when they first see your design, they will focus on one point in your design. So the next errors here is the basic errors. You can see here that the text in this slide, the typo, the distance between the letters, are not, appropriate, because they stick to each other like this. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce some basic visual elements in design. These are very, basic rules, but I promise that it is very necessary for you to, have a deep understanding of them, because as I mentioned above, that no matter tools you use, all you need to have is the rules in designing, because you can even produce a very beautiful Canva design like an Adobe Illustrator, because if you have an eye of design, you know how to arrange the elements in your design. So Canva and Illustrator is not a problem. So here I want to first introduce the line. Line is a the first basic elements in a design. So there are many types of lines here. You can see the line, the dot line like this. And line is often used to split, separate frames, columns, spaces, arrays to support empty space. So here is a ticket that I use Canva to design. You can see here just with this line, I can divide the two main informations into two parts. So you just imagine that if I don't use the line here, so the content like the time, the dates, the month here will be moved to the left space. So there are many main content. So it's will not grab attention. The main information will not be highlighted for the audiences. So with the line here, you can divide the two main parts of the ticket into two different space. So there are many variations of line here. It's just not a straight line like this. It can be like this, and like this. So next, line is a very useful tool for you to navigate the audience's eye. You can see these arrows. It is also a variation of line. And when you want the audiences to focus on one part, for instance, when you see here, the text SEC wants you will grab your attention. And after you see this, you will see the arrows like this, and these arrows navigate your eyes to the QR code here. So line is a very useful tool for you to navigate the audience's eyes. So on the advanced level, a line is a very useful tool to create a sense of speed. You can see here that this design, it just includes the line, like many lines in this design. However, with the advanced combination, you can create a sense of speed, like a car have been run through this road. And I think that this is a very advanced level. So after designing many times, you can maybe design a post like this later. So next is the color. Color is a very important element in a design because it creates a mood for the publication. For instance, when we want to say that we want to convey our mood that we are sad, we often use the blue, because you also know that I feel blue is I feel sad in English. So blue is often portrayed the sadness. Next is the prosperity. We often use not the green, the light green here to represent the success and wealth. And moreover, color can also create the contrast between we can also create contrast between colors to highlight what you need to say. For instance, my club use the blue color, the orange color here, and with the contrast we can see that we can focus on the content in the white color here. So there are many types of color combinations, color schemes. However, I'm not really majoring in designing, so I cannot guide you about the color combination. However, if you want to combine color harmoniously to avoid the situation in the first slide I showed you previously, I introduced you a website named Coolers here. It will give you a set of matchy colors together that you can use in a design. So here, for instance, you can type Coolers here, and here is the website. So there's many palettes in this website. You can use. You start the generator, here, yeah, so you can see there are many palettes here for you to choose. That those colors, they have been researched, and they can be used in a design together. So this website will help you to choose the matching colors per design, to avoid the situation that you will combine some very opposite color, like the purple with the yellow. They are not appropriate. So next is the shape. So there are three types of shapes in designing. First is geometric, next is organic, and lastly is the abstract. You can see here what type of them. So the shapes are used to highlight a frame of information or an image. So you can see here that in this post there are many kinds of shape. For instance, this orange part is the abstract shape. This one is also an abstract shape, this monster, and this rounded rectangle is a geometric shape. So with by combining many shapes in your design, you will see here that your design look more interesting, and you can highlight the information. Because imagine that there will be no shape, no rectangle, no monster here, just the text here. The design will be very boring. So I want to have a note for you that in the design, your shape must be consistent. Let me give you an example. So here you can see that it is a design for a discount poster, and all of the elements, most of our elements here, the image of the shirts, the image of the shoes here, those are the the image that the customer gave me. So here it is a real image, right? So when you choose elements to combine with those images, it also must be the real image. For instance, that is the product display, right? So when you search, this is not the image that the customer gave me. This is the elements that I use on Canva. So you search the product display here. You can see it. There are many product display, but as I mentioned above, this is the real image elements. So all you need to do is find some product display that is also in the real image. So for instance, this is the real image. However, you should not use this kind of product display. Let me find one. Like for instance, it is the the graphic image is not the real image, so you shouldn't use this. Let me find another one. Yeah, this one is similar. It's like the graphic is not the real image like this, so you should pay attention to choose the elements in the design. So to be more specific, I want to give another example that when you want to list out the main points of the presentation, for instance, like this. This is the slide of IVIT. So here, that is the slide portraying the services that IVS are operating for the customers. So you can see here that there are many icons portraying the words here. For instance, education. Here I choose the hat, symbolizing the education. It is the icon for fashion, but you need to pay attention to choose the icon. For instance, when you type the fashion icon, there are many types of icon here. You see that when you choose this, the line is quite thick, right? But you can see here that your icon you chose is quite the line are quite thin. So this one is not consistent, right? So you should choose something that is thin like that, like this icon. However, for instance, this one, you can see here that there's a lot of blank space in this icon, but in this icon, all of the space and in the icon, it's have been colored, so it's not appropriate, it's not consistent if you use this icon. Okay, so next we have reviewed the shape. Next is the space. Space is the area that surrounds and defines elements in the design, such as typos, image, and shapes. So you can see here, space is the white space here, and people often ignore this, but it's really important because space here, it helps you, deliberately, create your design. For instance, the designer, they do not have to design a house here, because when they design wisely, the white space here has successfully created the image, the symbol of the home here for the Homelian brand. So next, I want to introduce the typography. There are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of typography. First of all is the serif. Here, the serif here, I call that it's the typography serif. It had the foot here. You see, the foot here is the foot of the typography. So the serif is classic, formal, and maybe used for the superior brand. So next is the sans serif. It creates a sense of simple, modern, and really easy to read. For instance, some basic sans serif that we often see is the Arial, the Calibri, the Montserrat typography, and some serif we often see is the Times New Roman. Next is the monospaced. Here is the monospaced typography. So this is often used for coding in IT. Next is the handwriting and the script. They are the same because they are very smooth, like it's like calligraphy when we write something. So those two typography we cannot use too much in the design, because if we write a paragraph in the handwriting and in a script typography, it is really hard for the audiences to read the whole paragraph. However, they are still very useful. So next I want to introduce an example of how I can apply handwriting and the script typography in the design. So you can see here that this is a slide I made for my presentation in school. So it's assignment 1 is the main title here, and the topic for this is how advertising influences final purchase decision. So you can see here that it's really normal design. Nothing is beautiful here, but because the elements here are quite the shape here, the rectangle here are very sharp, the text here are very sharp, everything is just in a line. So you need something that is flexible for you in this design. So I adjust a little bit, that I chose the typography, which is the handwriting here, to make the slide look more interesting. You can see the difference after I change the typography. So I don't have any tips for this because it's just based on your personal experience. So I think that if you want to explore anything, all you need to do is practice and practice. So the next part of our today discussion is the visual design principles. There are some basic principles in designing. First of all, here we can see the contrast. We create contrast. We can use color, shape, size to highlight the main content. For instance, it is the four image on a Facebook fan page of my club, and you can see here that instead of using all of the color blue or all of the color orange, I use the contrast here to grab the audience attention. You can see here that if all of the color here are orange, it's like very boring, but we change a little bit in the color, it will, you know, switch our attention to the design. So next is a scale. A scale describes the size of an object, and in design, scale is relative and focus on the relationship between the object and the surrounding environment. You can see here that the two elements in the same scale, it's like it's create the sense that they're, you know, put into the same position. But for this, when they change the color into the small round is white and the bigger one is black, you can see here that it's like the small white round, it is behind the black big round. So scale is really important because it can also help you to first grab the audience's attention, because as I mentioned above, there is a slide, the first, you know, ugly slide that they did not, you know, highlight the main information. So it is really crucial for you when you're designing. You just choose one part, one position to grab the audience's attention. For instance, when you look at this slide, you will immediately focus on the second phase. So you will know that this slide will present about the second phase, which is the information search in the customer purchasing decision process. So all you need to do is, enlarge the size of this text to grab the audience's attention. All of this site information here will be in a smaller size. Next is the balance. There are two types of balance. First of all, is symmetrical balance, which is, you divide into two part or your three part, but all of the parts, the arrangement, the positions of the elements are, nearly the same. For instance, you can divide this slide, this design into two part, and the two positions of the elements here, they are arranged the same. Next is the asymmetrical balance, is the arrangement of elements naturally or randomly depending on the interaction between the elements. So here you can see that even when you divide like this, divide vertically or divide horizontally, the design will not the same. So you need to think before designing that how you're gonna arrange the elements to choose the appropriate types of balance for you. Next is the brand identity. I think that it is a very easy part, but I still need to mention it again, because you know that the design for Ivy poster will differ from the design for your coffee brand poster, because when you design a post for your brand, it needs to have the elements that portray the personality of your brand. For instance, here is the logo of Ivy. It needs to be included in every poster, every design of Ivy. So just like your brand, the logo should be included in every post, every design of your brand. Next is the color. I don't know whether you chose the color for your brand yet, but each brand needs to have their own color. For instance, our Ivy, we have the two typical colors here are the green and the orange. So normally we often choose the two main colors to portray our brand However, it just depends because I take the color palettes from the IC COVID project. So the main colors they would use most of the time is the blue and the purple here, the pink purple here. But if the design have too many elements, they need other colors, so they will have the complement colors here are the green and the orange. So there's some other notes. Sorry. Okay. So that is the end of my presentation about the basic design rules for you. So that is just a basic knowledge. So now I will instruct you how to use Canva to have a beautiful design. This is the post that I'm gonna design for you. That is post I design on Canva. You can see this type of photo many times on Shopee, on Lazada. So it's not that hard to create a visually appealing design like this. All you need to do is know the basic rules of designing, because Adobe Illustrator you use Canva like this, you can still produce a post which is the quality is as high as when you use the Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so I have the available source here. That here is the logo that the customer gave me, so I will put it here all for easier copy and paste. Okay, so here is the logo in black, but there's also logo in white, so we should have another page. Here. Okay, so this is the logo. Next is the image for the product. You can see here that it is the image with the white background. It's not the for instance, when I put it into the black background like this, you can see it's not just an image of the shoes here. So when customer giving you the photo like this, you need to remove the background. Okay, so the requirements of the customer is that I need to designing a sale poster, a sale banner for the brand in the 25th of June. It is hot sale, and the brand here is the tagline here is "Play with Dumba." So I need also to attach the information of the discount here. So as the main information, the customer replied to me is the sale on 25 June and the tagline "Play with Dumba." So I need to think in my head before designing that I need to focus on the text that 25 June and hot sale. So no matter how I design, I need to enlarge the most important information. So before we start designing, we should remove the background, because if we do not remove it, it will be like this in our design. It's not like this anymore. Okay, so I will remove the background here. So if you use Canva Pro, it's just the feature of the Canva Pro. So you click in the photo, you click the edit image and background remover. This one, background remover. Yeah, so we have successfully deleted the background. So next for this photo, we do the same. Okay, so because normally, based on my experience, when we design, when we show the products, we often have the product display here. Like, I often find my, ideas and inspirations on Pinterest or Behance. So you can search the product post. So it often has, you see, this one has the product display here. It normally has the product display. This one here, the product display. So I have, some basic ideas in my mind, and it is also the post for the summer, hot sale for the summer. So I chose something, really create the sense of hot for the audiences. So I choose the I have a search for the gradient background. Gradient background here. So there are many, gradient backgrounds here. So I choose this one because blue is not appropriate. It's not hot. Like this one is hot, but it's like the color is quite light, so I don't like it. I choose this one. So as I mentioned above, I normally see people use the product display elements when they want to show the products. So I search the product display here. Actually, if you want to master Canva, all you need to master is the keyword searching. So here you have the product display. So it's time for you to arrange the products. So here I need to divide into two, duplicate into two images here. So the shirts are the key products of this brand. So I will put it into the center of the image here. This one. Because it is the front side. That is the front side of the shirt. So I will put this into the the backward side by clicking to position and backward. So here like this. But you know that normally you can see here that this product display, it has shadow, right? But this shirt, it does not have shadow. So it's like it's not real. This design is, it's not real, and it cannot show up professional in designing. So we click into this two shirts and edit it. Here, edit image and shadows. We drop shadows here. It looked much real, right? Here, okay. So it looks more real right now. So now it's time for us to arrange the shoes. Because you see here there are two white shoes, only this one is black. So it just based on my personal experience. You can arrange wherever you want, but as I mentioned above, you need to design and arrange them appropriately. So there are two white shoes here, the light color shoes here, but there's only, you know, the black shoes. So I put it here like this. This one is I flipped it like this, and this one I cannot put it like this anymore. It's like, it's too balanced, it's too boring, so I will put it here. Okay, so here I also do the same as the shirts. I drop the shadow here, I drop a shadow. Okay, drop a shadow. So it's time to arrange the main information of the banner. So because it's the summer, so I need to use some color like yellow or red. So I chose here. I choose this. I click text and I try to type the day here. Like this. It's really, you know, this color really match the background. But I think that it's quite, you know, it's not appropriate, so I try to change the effect of the text here. For instance, like this. It's much better. Like this. Like this. Yeah. It's much better. It had the, you know, the line covering the text here. So I put it here. It's like, I don't think it's a good, you know, position, so I try to put it here because I need to embed the logo here too, because when I put it here, the logo will be here. It will be, you know, not, you know, balanced. So I will choose a symmetrical balance here in this post here. The main text is hot sale, right? Hot sale. So I will type the hot sale here. Okay, so next is the text hot sale. We shouldn't use another text like this, the same type of text like this. It will be really ugly. Really ugly. Let me see here. So I normally use the font Montserrat for easier reading. So in this post, I also use that font. And another note for you is that you shouldn't use, you know, too much fonts, like 4 to 5 fonts in per design. Here I type hot sale. This one. A little bit. So there's another tips in designing is that you will make the distance between, like, they are, you know, arranged straight like this. Chị ơi, chị Trang đi rồi ạ. Em đang ghi bài giảng ạ. Okay, so here you can use, you know, put it here, put it anywhere you want, but if you like make it straight like this, like the two start points and end points are the same, it will make your design look more, you know, tidy. So try to enlarge the text like this. And if you, because it's not this the main information, the main information is the 25 June here, you can try to enlarge the extend the distance between the letter like this a little bit, just a little bit here. It's quite too extend here, so I will put like 40, 35, 30, 30. Okay. Okay. So, but you see here that the hot sale is not attractive, so it's time for you to explore more. For instance, you try some effect of text here. This one is not beautiful. This one is not appropriate because it it cannot highlight the hot sale. So I choose like this one. This one, the roundness, because okay, color here, and text will be this one. I think it looks much better, right? But here the starting point and the end points has been much larger than the 25 June, so I need to adjust it a little bit. I was smaller this one. Okay, so I don't need to enlarge the line spacing anymore. Here you can see here we have already highlighted the text, but we also have our top line, which is the play with number. So it's just based on my personal experience. So I think that whenever I introduce you this, you can use that the future tips for your design, because there will be no rules to think of designing. So all you need to do is just explore yourself. Okay, so I have text play with the number here. Play with the number. I cannot put it here because all the top line of the main information, they should go together. It's when I put it here, it will be really separated. It's really separated. It's not appropriate, so I still put it here. But if I put it here, it's too large, and we have the product image here, so I will smaller the text here, put here like this. But as I mentioned, it will touch the product image, so I will try to people will not see this clearly, so I will try to have this this arrangement, this one like this, to capture the audience's attention that the tagline is play with number. Imagine that there will be like this, only this text, hot sale play with number. People will not remember this tagline play with number. But when you put like this, it consistently remind you of the tagline play with number. But it's to highlight, so you need to change the effect with text like this. But we need to gradually fade away it. So choose like this. You choose the hollow effect, and you will reduce the transparency by clicking into the three dots here, this transparency icon, and reduce it like this. It will create a feelings of things gradually fading away. So this is the main text. You put it appearing on the product, but this one you should position it backwards, position to back. Okay, so you see a difference, right? So it's time to embed the discount information. So normally people often highlight the discount information here, like with the tags. So I search the discount tab here, and then discount tab. You can choose this one. It's still appropriate. No, it's not. just try to explore which one is the appropriate elements for this design. Here, because some of the elements they cannot change the color, so you need to explore. This one you can change the color. It's appear colors here. You can change it. But for another one, like this one, no. For this one, you cannot change the color because it not appeared here. So I will use the available discount tab I have found on the previous slide. I used blue colors to highlight the discount information, because you can see here this one is not appropriate. It's too too light. This one here. So I will type the information here is discount up to 10%. Enlarge the text here and rotate it. You should remember to rotate. You cannot be rotate like this. It will not match the information, the discount tab. You should rotate until the line of this text is the same, straight to the discount tab, like this. Okay, so we have finished some basic design, but you see here that the background here is quiet, blank, because you see here that behind the background there's many other elements. For instance, like this, the background, it has this round, this circle. This one, the background is different. It's like have many layers. So our background just has this one. So it's quite blank. So we can think of other ideas like the cloud. This one, like we should take the ideas from the internet. We cannot create ourselves. We need to learn from them. So here, just try, put it here and position to back. It's look okay. I will reduce the transparency here. It's look okay, but it's not appropriate for this context, because the context here is hot sale. So this cloud make it look so cold. So I will not use this. So I will use the round lights here. This one, I will choose this one. It can change the color. Luckily, this one here. It's like the sun is shining. So I choose the positions and to back like this. So you can see here that our banners has been lightened up. So it's time to designing the logos. So as that is the request of the customer to draw the logos like this. So it is the available logos. So I don't need to design it again. But like normally we can design a logo like this without the rounded rectangle. But it's quite blended into the background. So we choose the rounded rectangle, white rounded rectangle like this to highlight the logo. So yeah, we have finished our design. So my homework for you is that with the materials I sent you, you will design the similar post like this for me. Okay, so I think that is the end of our session today. So if you have any questions for me, if there's any parts that I explain really complicated and you cannot fully understand, you can feel free to ask me. And yeah, once again, I'm very sorry for late replies, and thank you for listening to my video.